Welcome to Liberate Your Life podcast, Expand Your Awareness. This is a space where we come together to share Ayurvedic wisdom, spiritual inquiry, and holistic practices for embracing your authentic self. Explore healing, nourishment, and thriving through diverse methods and shared experiences. This podcast aims to inspire a journey inward, helping you discover your authentic self and live your highest potential. I'm your host, Melinda Fletcher, and I am here to serve your transformation. Liberation is the realization of your highest potential, an awakening to consciousness without the constraints of conditioning, stories, and imprints. I've dedicated my life to exploring true freedom through embodied joy and spiritual harmony. This is the essence I bring to this podcast, a profound reverence for our human nature and an unwavering trust in our ability to access our true nature. Let's dive in and explore the psyche, spirit, and ultimate freedom on Liberate Your Life podcast. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 32, The Path to Bliss, Embodied Joy through Ayurvedic Wisdom. In this podcast, we explore what embodiment means and what it means to cultivate deep joy, that we create this field of presence and contentment, fulfillment, and joy. Joy, this like peace within our skin, peace with God, peace with the world, and that we're not rocked by the interactions of the external world, and that we really have this deeply nourished well of embodied joy that fuels our spirit, that just cradles our heart and gives us peace in the time of chaos, so that we can move through this life and really connect to that inner bliss and deep awareness of our true essence. Embodied joy, embodiment. So one of my teachers says, we're here to be embodied. And how do we live as awake consciousness in this embodiment, right? So we're here to have this human experience. We were gifted this beautiful body to live out our karma, to allow the soul to inhabit these physical bodies, these biological bodies, and move through this experience where at times everything seems to matter and nothing actually matters. So we're moving through these bodily experiences, and this is where we feel like pain and suffering, right? Like if we don't have this body, another one of my teachers said, to die is the greatest ecstasy, because we are reunited with our divine energy, where we are part of everything, and we're not confined to these human bodies where we feel pain, right? We feel pain, we get cut, it hurts. We lose something, we have heartbreak, right? We have emotions, they take over our body. We're exposed to trauma. There is a lot of suffering in this world. That is part of the human experience, and there is infinite joy, and that is also a part of this experience. So we are here to be embodied in the embodiment of consciousness of the soul in these biological bodies. And so that's the embodiment. And so embodied joy, what does that mean exactly? So through the lens of Ayurveda and spirituality, it does represent a state of being where our physical, mental, and spiritual selves are harmoniously aligned, leading to a profound sense of joy and well-being. Ayurveda considers joy one of the essential experiences of overall well-being. Is a state of our doshas, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. When they're imbalanced, our bodily functions are optimal and our minds are clear and at peace. It's also linked, this joy is linked to Agni, which is the digestive fire, which is used for proper elimination. And that really helps to purify the mind, because if we have good digestion, we're creating healthy tissues, we're creating pure thoughts, we're having emotional clarity, we're having hormonal balance. So the Agni is, we are everything that we eat. So everything we put into our body creates our entire experience. And so we want to really make sure that our Agni is good. And then when our Ayurvedic constitution is in harmony and we follow the suitable lifestyle and diet, we naturally experience joy. So this is something that I'm always talking about, is this joy, is this sattvic quality. When we really understand ourselves through Ayurveda, through like holistic practices of really that cultivation of deep awareness to know thyself. And Ayurveda is self-knowledge for self-healing. So then we do these different lifestyle practices so that we can really align ourselves with what brings us into harmony and not continue to do all the things that are irritating and aggravating, although we can really acquire quite an addiction to those. But that's what this Ayurvedic spiritual sattvic journey is about, is how do we understand ourselves and how do we consciously choose things that deeply care for ourselves, that create balance so that we can really live a beautiful, loving, harmonious life, as well as tending to the places and spaces that need healing from past experiences, from childhood trauma, from things that we got and didn't get from our parents. And so how do we go in and create that harmonious space within our systems so that we can really tend to those, and that we have that spaciousness and a capacity to heal from within and create that inner joy, that inner sattvic quality. And then in spirituality, embodied joy signifies a state where we are connected with our higher self and the divine essence within us. It involves embracing the present moment, being mindful and appreciating the beauty of life and creation. Joy is seen as an intrinsic aspect of our true nature, an expression of our soul's alignment with the universal energies. Achieving spiritual alignment and living in harmony with our true purpose often leads to a sense of profound joy and fulfillment, right? So joy, and fulfillment, all these things, but like we come here for a purpose. Everybody is special and amazing. We come here with a purpose. And when we're feeling like really irritated in our skin and we're not happy and we're like, why am I here? Or like, why do I matter? Or who loves me? Or am I lovable? Or am I worthy? You know, we go through so many different emotions in this human experience. And we're here for a purpose. And when we can open up into that, when we, by the grace of God, when that comes through, when we have a deep moment of vulnerability and we have those epiphanies of like, what really inspires you? What lights you up? What are you here to do? We come back to this, like, what is our purpose? Fulfillment, contentment. And when we move towards alignment with those, that fills our system, that fills our body with joy and the sattvic quality, because we have a clarity, we have a purpose. We're connected to that channel that is just you, that is your soul's calling. And you get to then embody that power, that essence, that joy, that purpose in your body and really feel so activated and so in tune. And it's like the outside world does what it does and we filter it in the ways that we have learned to filter it. But there's an unwavering devotion and clarity and activation within your system, that embodied joy that is infectious. It's that light that comes in the room where you're like, that person loves who they are. They love their life. That is this movement of embodied joy. It's the path to bliss. So bliss, right? So bliss is this word that we use a lot, but bliss is that state of calm, spacious presence, that sattvic quality that I always go back to, that is the core of my teachings of Ayurvedic and spiritual teachings, is creating that sattvic quality within your system. And that bliss is just that state of joy, but it's also just this higher awareness. It's this ability to hold space for all the things that happen in life. And I'm talking the spectrum, like from the worst to the best and everything in between, because it's part of life. It's throughout time. There is all of these challenges and all of these triumphs, all the beauty and all the chaos that has happened. We're not reinventing the wheel here. We might be advancing technologically and, oh my God, the things that our parents have seen now and that we will see in this lifetime, but we're not reinventing the wheel as far as what we as humans are exposed to and experience in the spectrum of emotions and trauma and joy, the cycle of life from life to death and everything in between. So this bliss is like the embodied joy, the bliss is this big, expansive awareness and capacity to hold space for the entirety of life, where we stay connected to caring for ourselves and loving ourselves and purifying our systems and just showing up in deep reverence and gratitude for the miracle of waking up to each precious day. So this embodied joy is something that we cultivate and tend to for our daily practices. The daily practices help to purify, cleanse, and expand our consciousness and our awareness and help us navigate the challenging times and really open to that spaciousness around understanding life, the life that we came here to live, our soul's purpose, and it really helps to align us so that we can burn off the karma and we can really connect into our highest self, our highest potential, and really ground down in these bodies and come to a place of, wow, thank you, great creator, spirit, source, and God, for gifting me the experience of being human so that I can play and feel and live through the embodiment of joy. And how do we really activate awake consciousness and channel that into the form, right? So when the formless and the form move as one, that is the true essence of this human experience. And so how does the practice of our spiritual practices, whether, meditation and pranayama and yoga, how do we take that which we unite with in the practice? How do we live that on and off the mat? How do we take that out into our experiences on the road or at work or in our relationships with our partners? How do we stay in the seat of witness so that we don't react to everything that's happening out there? So embodied joy, channeling the bliss, the joy of our human nature, and really staying connected to our highest self, to awake consciousness, and channeling that joy and sharing it with the world. Thank you for joining me here on Liberate Your Life podcast. I'm your host, Melinda Fletcher. You can connect with me on Instagram at Sattva Wellness Center, or head to my website and check out my offerings, sattvawellnesscenter.com. And until next time, go enjoy your embodiment and live your true bliss.